Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TonySpace.com. Time for NBA rundown from our top unit producer over at TonySpace.com for the past 2 years. That's Joseph Schultz. We'll bring him in right now, ready to roll here for the NBA from this 8-game card here on Saturday's action. Joseph, how's it going?
It's going well. Just enjoying the madness of March and trying to catch the NBA games and still catch the tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of this overlap here with the NCAA tournament. NBA, of course, so we'll whittle this down to 16 in the NCAA tournament here by Sunday night. But NBA, quite interesting story here, and we got a pretty good card here tonight for you guys from Joe. So we'll go ahead and get underway here with this one. We got the Nets and Knicks going head-to-head here. Knicks going to be laying 7, total 204.5.
The Nets are 0-4 in their last 4 games. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've fallen 4.5 games behind the Hawks for that last play-in spot in the East. They've pretty much given up on the season. You can see it in their body language. It hasn't quite worked as well as they hoped with Kevin Ollie. The Knicks are headed in the opposite direction, though. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games, and they're 4-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 5, with the only loss in that span coming to the Denver Nuggets. They're just a half a game out of 4th in the East and a game and a half out of 3rd. Reinforcements are on the way for the Knicks. Julius Randle's ramping up practice. He's now doing controlled contact, so he'll be back soon. Mitchell Robinson won't be far behind. OG Anunoby will be out for this game. I keep saying he is a huge part of what the Knicks do, but I think the Knicks will still be just fine, at least for this game. The spread isn't big enough for me to worry. It is the Knicks' first game back in Madison Square Garden after 4 straight on a West Coast trip. So it's not the best spot for them, but they are rested and motivated. They've also owned the Nets this season, beating them both times they've played, once by 15 and once by 19. I think the Knicks can win this game by double digits.
All right, Joseph, so let's get his premium plays over at TonySpace.com. Top unit producer here, Nets and Knicks. He says the Knicks here at -7. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. All 8 games here from this card. Next up will be Kings and the Magic. We see the Magic laying 3.5, total 216.
Orlando's 8-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 10. They're playing good basketball. They're 5-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 5. They've done a lot of that winning versus bad teams like the Raptors, Nets, Hornets. I wasn't as big on them as most, but they impressed me in their last game, thoroughly beating a good Pelicans team, winning by 15. Now they face the Kings team that has beaten them 5 straight times. I think the Magic are the right side in this one. They have revenge motivation. They'll be playing in their 4th straight home game. They're in better form. Sacramento will be playing their 3rd straight game on the road. The Kings are just 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. I like the Magic at home.
All right, Joseph Schultz, find his best bets at TonySpace.com. Kings and Magic. The pick here will be the Magic here at -3.5. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown, guys. Be sure to use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off all Joseph Schultz premium pick packages. Again, the link in the description to get over to his page. All right, let's continue on here on this NBA card for Saturday. Next up will be Hornets and the Hawks. Hawks 8.5. Total sits here at 214.
The Hawks are just 4-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. They don't look to be in good form. The only reason they won't probably get caught for that last play-in spot is because the team chasing them is just as bad, if not worse. Charlotte has dominated the Hawks. They're 4-0 in their last 4 games against them, winning all 4 of those as underdogs. The problem for Charlotte is that they're only 4-6 against the spread and 2-8 straight up in their last 10, and they will be playing their 3rd straight game on the road. The Hawks will be playing their first game at home after 5 straight on the road, and they'll be without Jalen Johnson, so they're not in the best of spots either. Both teams are in poor form. I don't see either team being able to pull away from the other in this game. So I think the smartest way to go in this game would just be to grab the 8.5 points with the Hornets and just hope that this game stays close.
All right, Joseph Schultz. Find his best bets at TonySpace.com. Hornets and Hawks. The pick here will be the Hornets here at plus the 8.5. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. And next up will be Raptors and Wizards here. Wizards laying 6, total 232.
This is a game I really have no interest in watching or betting for that matter. Gary Trent didn't play in last night's game, and he'll be questionable for this one. I'm not sure who traveled with the team, but I know RJ Barrett isn't with them, so he won't be playing. I don't see why they would rush him back either. Toronto's just 1-9 straight up and 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. They haven't won a single game, unless I'm mistaken, since Scotty Barnes got hurt. They'll also be playing their second game of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Washington themselves is just 3-7 against the spread and straight up in their last 10 games. But they are coming off a decent win against the Kings. They'll be playing their 4th straight game at home. They'll also probably have the more talented lineup since the Raptors won't be without a lot of their guys. At least the Wizards will have, Kuzma, Kispert, Poole's in the starting lineup. Marvin Bagley's back. So they do have some decent NBA talent. This is a gross pick, but I do lean towards the Wizards laying 6, believe it or not.
All right, Joseph Schultz, get his best bets over at Tony'sPicks.com. Raptors and Wizards. Likes the Wizards here, laying the 6 points. All right, guys, be sure to click the link in the description and get to Joseph's premium pick page and get signed up. The promo code TonyT at checkout will save you 20% off all those premium pick packages. Let's continue here on this NBA rundown. Next up will be Jazz and the Rockets. Rockets 10.5, total 226.5.
Yeah, these are two teams headed in opposite directions. Utah's without Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson, as we know. John Collins is also questionable. The Jazz are 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. They're just 2-8 straight up in their last 10. The Rockets are red hot, 1-9 straight up and against the spread in their last 10. They've pulled within 2.5 games of the Warriors for that final playing spot in the West. These teams matched up just once this season. The Rockets got a tough 1-point win, but this is a different Jazz team. That was a scrappy pre-deadline Jazz team that still had Kelly Olynyk and Simone Fontecchio. This is now a Jazz team that's banged up. It lacks depth. They seem ready for the offseason. The Rockets are red hot. Jalen Green's playing great. They've been really good at home this whole season, too. 24-10-1 against the spread and 24-11 straight up. The Rockets know they need every win, and they won't take the Jazz lightly. At least I wouldn't think so, especially with the Mavs, Timberwolves, Warriors, and Magic all up next. I think the Rockets should get a win and a cover here. And I also, just for the sake of it, I like Jalen Green at plus 450 to record a double-double. He's done so in 2 out of the last 3 games. And like I said, he's just playing great.
All right, there you go. Joseph Schultz, get his premium plays over at TonySpace.com. Jazz and Rockets. The pick will be the Rockets here at laying the 10.5. Jalen Green double-double as well. All right, let's continue here on our rundown here from the NBA. Guys, we'll get to the next game here. And next up will be the Suns and Spurs. Suns road favorites 9.5, total 229.
Suns finally getting healthy. Their big three have been playing together for a while now. They're getting their role players back now, too. Nurkic should play in this one. Josh Okogie, I thought, wasn't going to play, but he's upgraded to at least questionable. So they might have their whole team, including their rotational players. A top 4 seed for the Suns is not out of the question, just 3.5 games behind that 4 spot. They can close the gap with wins in their next couple of games, both against the Spurs. But they really better get those wins, though, because who they face next is almost ridiculous. They'll face, in a row, too, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Pelicans, Cavs, Timberwolves, Pelicans again, Clippers twice, Kings, and then the Timberwolves again. So they really better stress these next two against the Spurs. The Spurs will be playing their 6th straight home game, and their last 2 games. Oh, I'm sorry. They're playing their 6th straight home game, and they have won their last 2 games against the Suns. So it does set up to be a revenge game for the Suns as well. I like the Suns relatively healthy to get revenge against the Spurs. The Spurs will also be on a back-to-back 3rd game in 4 nights, so I lean towards the Spurs. I'm sorry, the Suns.
The Suns. All right, yeah, just get his best bets over at Tony'sPicks.com. Suns and Spurs. The pick here will be the Suns here, laying the 9.5. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. We'll get all 8 games for you here on the show. And next up will be Celtics and Bulls. Celtics laying 8 on the road, total 221.5.
Yeah, the odds makers might be, I don't know what's up. This line seems fishy to me. I know the Bulls aren't as bad as, the level of competition that they have been playing, like the Wizards and the Pistons, but they're still banged up. This is the same handicap as the last Boston game I just gave, though. The Celtics will be tricky to figure out with, who will be playing, who won't be from now on till the end of the regular season. But it really doesn't matter, like I've said before, and it came true in last night's game. If they're hitting their shots, they're going to win and they're going to cover. Unless, maybe if they're playing a motivated Timberwolves, Thunder, or Denver, maybe the Bucks. Other than that, you're pretty much gonna have to just ride with the Celtics. They're 8-2 straight up and 7-3 in their against the spread in their last 10 games. They've been resting key guys and still putting up those records. Nobody will catch them in the East, so they'll continue to rest guys. The Bulls will probably have Caruso and Kobe White back for this game. Boston will be on the 2nd night of a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights, and 4th game in 6 nights. But again, they're resting guys, so it's not going to take that accumulative effect as it does on most teams. Now, I'm not willing to try to catch the falling knife with the Bulls here, especially as a single-digit underdog. I will say it's technically a Bulls spot, but I'm just not willing to fade the Celtics at this point.
All right, Joseph Schultz here. Get his best bets at Tony'sPicks.com. Top unit producer the past 2 years. The Celtics and Bulls. The pick here will be on the Celtics, laying the 8 points. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. Next up will be Nuggets and Trailblazers. Trailblazers dogs here. Nuggets 14 on the road, total 210.5.
Trailblazers are just 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games, and they'll be playing the 2nd night of a back-to-back. 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights. DeAndre Ayton was unable to play in last night's game. I'm guessing he'll miss this one as well. Anthony Simons got hurt and he left yesterday's game. He was unable to return. Denver's 8-2 in their last 10 games. And unlike Boston in the East, they still have a lot to play for. They're a half a game behind the Thunder for the number 1 seed in the West. We should see this go down to the last game or 2 in the West. So as long as that 1 seed is up for grabs, we will see these teams, these top teams in the West, playing their guys, highly motivated. And if you're going to tell me Simons and Ayton is probably out and the Denver Nuggets are going to play their guys and they're motivated, this number would have to be approaching 20 for me to stay off it. I like the Nuggets, laying the big number.
Joseph Schultz says here, Nuggets and Trailblazers. It'll be the Nuggets here, laying the 14 points. All right, we got you through this NBA rundown here for the action here on Saturday. Now it's time to turn our attention over to Tony'sPicks.com here for Saturday's card. 8-game card here from the NBA. Also college basketball, the 8 big games from NCAA tournaments, some minor tournament action as well. You can see Joseph over the past 2 years, about 15 months, 5,339 units of profit, top unit producer over at TonySpace.com for the past 2 years. What do you have going over at the site?
Yeah, I've already got a play up in that Gonzaga-Kansas game that I really like. But besides that, I think that there's a lot of value in this NBA card for today. So I'm going to have a 3-pack up for that. Should maybe have a game or two more from the tournament being put up. So we may have a 3-pack in the NBA and a 3-pack out of college.
All right, guys, get on board with Joseph Schultz over at TonySpace.com. Top unit producer here. The past 2 years, all sports combined, 5,339 units of profit the past 15 months. No better time than now to get on board with Joseph Schultz over at TonySpace.com. Get on board with those long-term passes. Click the link in the description. You'll land on his profile page, and that's where you can buy his long-term passes. 1 month pass will get you mid of the NCAA tournament, take you into beginning of the NBA playoffs, as well as start of baseball. Remember, baseball begins here on Thursday, so a good 3 weeks of baseball with that 1 month pass. And we'll save you some money here when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. You can access Joseph's page by clicking the link in the description, and you'll get to his page. Remember, we got the 1 month pass. We want to try him for 7 days. That as well offers there too. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, Joseph, is always great having you on the show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, Tony. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. For Joseph Schultz, I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.